News Talk KVNU.
The information from a pretty balanced perspective.
Online at kvnutalk.com and on the KVNU mobile app.
KVNU News Time is 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by U&I Furniture. Included in the State Health Department's Friday report are 3 coronavirus deaths, 2 of them from northern Utah. One is a Cache County man between 45 and 64 years of age, and the other a man from Box Elder County between 65 and 84 years. Both were hospitalized at the time of death. The virus has claimed 2,375 Utahns since the start of the pandemic. Today's update indicates there have been 416,110 positive coronavirus cases during the 16 months of the pandemic. That includes 431 reported since Thursday. There were 17 new positive cases in the Bear River Health District since Thursday, and now there have been 22,390 in northern Utah. 22,062 of that total are classified as recovered. To date, 963 have been hospitalized in the district during the pandemic, and there have been 112 coronavirus deaths in Utah. Today's report from Bear River Health indicates 52.6% of all district's residents are fully vaccinated. That includes 55.1% in Cache County, 47.1% in Box Elder County, and 47.6% in Rich County. Drivers in Utah, prepare yourselves. This holiday weekend brings some of the highest gas prices the state has seen in years as people across the nation get ready to hit the road for Independence Day. Sergio Avila, the spokesperson for AAA Utah, said these are the highest gas prices that we've seen for Independence Day weekend in 7 years. Utah is among the top 10 states with the highest prices right now, averaging $3.56 per gallon of regular unleaded. As of Thursday, the national average, according to AAA, is $3.12 per gallon. Avila said part of the reason for the spike is an increase in demand as things have started to open up from the pandemic and people are eager to get out and celebrate. He also pointed to another reason for the increase, the price of crude oil, which he says has been increasing in the past few weeks. Avila said during the holiday weekend, 47.7 million people nationwide are expected to be traveling. 91% will be doing so in their own vehicles, so the demand for gasoline will be very high this weekend. Despite the high prices, Avila said that typically does not deter travelers. Instead, they may save money on getting cheaper food or hotel rooms on their travels. His advice for consumers is to plan ahead. And officials in Logan have announced modified schedules for Logan City services and facilities during the Independence Day holiday. Because July 4th falls on Sunday this year, the federal holiday will be officially celebrated on Monday, July 5th. According to Logan Public Works spokesperson Emily Malik, residential garbage, recycling, and green waste will be collected as usual on Monday, July 5th. However, the city landfill will be closed to the public on that day. Malik added that the Logan River Golf Course will be open during regular operating hours on Sunday, July 4th and Monday, July 5th. The Logan Library will be closed from Saturday through Monday. The walk-up book drop at the library's main entrance will remain open. However, the Logan Rec Center will be open for regular hours on Monday, July 5th, and the Logan Aquatic Center will be open on Sunday the 4th and Monday the 5th for regular hours. KVNU weather for tonight becoming mostly clear, and the overnight low tonight around 60, mostly sunny tomorrow and heating up into the mid-90s, upper 90s on Sunday, and mid-90s on Monday. Weather brought to you by the Lawn Doctor. Win the weed battle in your lawn. Call the Lawn Doctor and keep dandelions, thistle, clover, and morning glory at bay. 753-LAWN or LawnDoctorCacheValley.com. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
People love shopping at UNI Furniture. They know they're going to get a great price on a quality piece of furniture. And one section of the store is Chair Heaven, where UNI has a big selection of rocker recliners, power recliners, big chairs, chairs for the petite, swivel chairs, accent chairs, lift chairs, all kinds of chairs. UNI works hard to have the inventory you're looking for. In fact, they order new furniture on almost a daily basis to keep stocked up. So if you need a sofa love, sectional, a new dining room set, stop in and see why there really is always a better buy at UNI Furniture in downtown Logan at 28 West 1st North.
It all happens here. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
This radio station is proud to provide a patriotic soundtrack to this year's fireworks shows from Logan's Willow Park and Lewiston July 3rd. For your own backyard celebration July 4th and Hiram July 5th. Each evening at 10, tune into this radio station for music and message. Join us as we celebrate the United States of America and pay tribute to the brave men and women who serve. Special thanks to these businesses for sponsoring this year's soundtrack. Schreiber Foods, now hiring and matching wages for qualified candidates. McDonald's, looking for employment? McDonald's wants to help your future. Possibilities start at McDonald's. Apply today. Monson Vision, offering state-of-the-art LASIK vision correction right here in Cache Valley. With joy, we celebrate the United States of America. Tune into this radio station July 3rd, 4th, and 5th at 10 p.m. as we celebrate America the Beautiful.
Bicycle, bicycle. Hey, Cache Valley. Our community is recognized as one of the best places in the West to ride a bicycle. And the Cache Grand Fondo is celebrating our 10th annual bike ride. Ranked a top 10 Grand Fondo event in North America with 35, 50, 75, and 100-mile routes means this is a ride for all abilities. Register and come visit us on Saturday, July 10th. For more information, visit CacheGrandFondo.com or Google Cache Grand Fondo.
Building a signature landscape requires design and expertise. Canyon Landscaping offers both. They've been creating, building, and maintaining landscapes for over 20 years. With a combined 100 years of management experience, their in-house landscape architecture team designs and manages each job with experienced installers who ensure a signature project. Are you ready for the yard you've always wanted? Don't wait. 752-3838 or go to CanyonLandscaping.com. Canyon Landscaping. Look for the leaf.
Your attention. The Flying Legends of Victory Tour is coming to Logan Tuesday, July 6th through Sunday, July 11th at Leading Edge Aviation. Experience the thrill of riding in a B-17 Jeep Bomber or touring the historic Sentimental Journey. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Tuesday through Sunday, July 6th through 11th. Make lasting memories never to be forgotten. The Flying Legends of Victory Tour and Sentimental Journey at Leading Edge Aviation, 2500 North Airport Road in Logan. Visit leaviation.com.
Utah is in extreme drought. Reservoir levels are low, and wildfire risk is dangerously high. We don't know how long this drought will last, so we all need to do our part to save water. Reduce lawn watering to no more than twice a week for northern Utah and 3 times a week for southern Utah. Your lawn won't look lush and green, but grass is resilient and will bounce back when conditions improve. Prioritize your watering to focus on trees and shrubs. Check with your local water provider for possible restrictions in your area. For more information, visit slowtheflow.org.
Oh, little piggy! Let me in or I'll blow this building down!
Nice try, Wolfie, but this here building's made from steel.
All right then, here goes! Gosh, that didn't work.
A building from Northern Steel Buildings will keep out the big bad wolf, and they don't break the piggy bank. Visit northernsteelbuildings.com to see their quality work or call 435-677-7300. Northern Steel Buildings. Value from concept to construction.
Monday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show. It may be a holiday for a lot of people, but we'll be in live July 5th breaking down the big July 4th weekend. Did it feel normal? Did you burn your mask and have a good hot dog? I hope so.
Plus, did the Democrats realize that they need to back away from some of the craziest left-wing policies they've been talking about in recent weeks? We'll talk about their strategy and more coming up on the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM at 610 AM.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
Welcome
back to KVNU's For the People. It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock. It's time for the For the People Movie Show with Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com. He'll be with us here in the studio in just a couple of minutes. And we have a lot to talk about, actually. Despite the fact that there is nothing brand new here in Logan this weekend at the theaters, there is plenty happening online in the streaming services. Also, some options for you new in theaters just over the hill if you want to make the trip. And a lot coming up in the coming weekends. This is one of the most normal things of summer movie season lately. The dearth of big premieres on the July 4th weekend. It's just not a big summer movie blockbuster premiere weekend. I think it's because the July 4th holiday for most people who celebrate it is an outdoor holiday. It's for water fights and barbecues and just generally hanging out in someone's backyard, I think, for most people. So it's not that atypical of a normal summer movie season to have nothing big premiering on the 4th, although there have been some big premieres on the 4th of July weekend. It's not out of the ordinary to have there be no big premiere, but nothing new at all. Man, breaking a several-week stretch here of movies getting back into full swing with just nothing new in the theaters. But, again, that doesn't mean there isn't anything new to see. And we're going to be talking about one of these with Andy. It's called The Tomorrow War, and it is an Amazon Prime original. And the plot, roughly, the trailer is cool to see. We've got some clips that we'll get to here in just a bit. But the plot of this movie is not... I read about it and thought, this is a alien invasion movie, basically. Then I watched the trailer... And it also stars Chris Pratt, who is, just, I think most people are meh on him. He's not bad. He's not great. But watch the trailer. That's what I would say. You might get excited about this one. What might also excite you about this one is Andy saw it. And if you'll remember, if you were listening to a recent For the People movie show, Andy had kind of not made fun of, but... he and I had both, mentioned that we'd read a little bit about this Tomorrow War movie, and neither one of us was very excited. It seemed like something that had been done to death already, and we didn't need another one of these, especially one that was kind of mediocre. I think Andy's going to come in today and tell us all that he and I were wrong to pan this, just based on a few comments Andy's made earlier in the day. Maybe not. Maybe he pans it still. But so, yeah, we'll be talking about The Tomorrow War with Andy and a film called Werewolves Within. That's coming up in just a bit here on the show. So, again, nothing new in theaters here in Logan, but still some stuff you can see. If you haven't made time for it yet, check out Sweet Tooth on Netflix. This is... a big hit with audiences and at least a moderate hit with critics. It's odd. I mean, it's really odd. It's good, though. It's which is something that will sometimes get my attention when something's a little weird, but also at the same time really draws you in, compelling. It makes you care about the characters, want to know what happens next. It is a series on Netflix. It's based on a young adult novel series, I believe series. And the premise of this, again, is, here's the odd part. There's some kind of a plague that happens. And remember, this book came out pre-COVID-19. The movie didn't, or the series didn't, but the book did. So this isn't playing off of recent events and tragedies. But there's some kind of a plague that wipes out, much of, us. And changes... things to the extent that all children born from, I think they call it like day zero or something like that in the series, at least the Netflix series, all children born after that are hybrids. They're mixed with animals. And so Sweet Tooth is the nickname for a young boy / deer. And the series begins with him holed up in a cabin with his dad, without spoiling anything, you don't find out a lot about why he's there with just his dad, whereas the rest of the family, you get the impression there definitely was a rest of the family. But where are they? What happened? Why are they hiding out at this cabin? And you get a few clues in that first episode, and I can't really tell you anything about the following episodes because it would ruin some of the surprises and twists. But I recommend it. It's odd, but it's good. If you're a fan of action movie / zombie movies, check out Black Summer Season 2. This is one, as Andy and I discussed. Andy, not a fan of zombie movies in general. I like them if they're done right, and if they have I was a pretty big fan of Army of the Dead on Netflix recently because it was actually a heist movie. The zombie part was kind of incidental. I thought that was sort of a cool way to do a zombie movie. Black Summer, what I liked about Season 1, at least, I haven't seen Season 2, is that it's the same kind of thing. The zombies are sort of incidental. It could just as easily be aliens as zombies or anything like that. It's more about these people and this trek and quest, if you will, to steal a word from more of the fantasy realm. And it's just, it's done really well. So Season 2 of that has hit Netflix. That started this week. Loki on Disney Plus is one of the top for Disney Plus in the last few weeks. And Season 4 has hit every Wednesday a new episode. Episode 4 of Season 1. Episode 4 hit last Wednesday, and fans are loving this one. I mentioned before that this was Disney's first official Marvel hit. They haven't had a bomb yet with any of the Marvel spin-off stuff they've done. They haven't. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was great. WandaVision was very different, but really unique and great. But Loki is the first that seems to be picking up some of that Marvel excitement steam that you'd see around the Avengers films, or even the excitement for that third Thor film, which was really interesting because the first two Thor films had been such just kind of mediocre installments. And so this Loki series is the first time the Disney Plus really seems to have hit that Marvel magic. Whatever it is. Andy and I have talked about it many times. We've never figured it out. It was unpredictable. It was and maybe a bit like lightning striking. I don't know that Marvel. We'll see how Phase 4 goes. That actually starts next week, by the way. Phase 4, the Marvel next chapter, if you will, starts with Black Widow next weekend. So we'll see how that goes. But again, Disney proving that that they can take this Marvel universe, make these episodic television-style series happen, and stay true to what Marvel fans like, get excited about, and will make time to watch. The reviews, again, I actually haven't read many critics on the Loki series, but the fans are loving it. And I think part of that, too, is being able to return to Loki, or have Loki return. I think that's pretty exciting for everybody. That was a character that looks like, he was not going to be back, and he is. So, again, Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com will be joining us in just a bit here on KVNU's For the People Movie Show right after this.
The results are in for the 2021 Best of Northern Utah contest.
Best of Northern Utah.
Brought to you by Thermo Fisher. Pick up your copy of the Winners Magazine. Pickup locations are listed at bestofnorthernutah.com. Over 300,000 votes were cast to determine gold and silver winners in 164 business categories. Help congratulate these businesses and support all of your local businesses. And thank you for participating in the 2021 Best of Northern Utah contest.
Planning your funeral shouldn't be the last thing you do. Pre-planning is actually quite common. Allen Mortuaries recommends you plan it all in advance. That way, you have time to think and arrange things the way you want them. Then, when the time comes, your loved ones can focus on what's important. Family. Allen Mortuaries.
This is Jason Allen with Allen Mortuaries, serving Cache Valley for over 80 years. Then, now, always.
Celebrate the 4th of July weekend on the shores of beautiful Bear Lake in Garden City. This Saturday night, July 3rd at Heritage Park. Enjoy live music with American Idol finalist Bucky Covington. Music starts at 7:30 with fireworks at 10. Plus a moving tribute to our military that's a must-see. There's no cost, but bring your own chairs and blankets. Fireworks, live music, and fun this Saturday night in Garden City at beautiful Bear Lake. Go to bearlake.org and click on events for more information. Happy Independence Day from your neighbors in Garden City.
Hulk. Smash.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. I expected more out of Barbara Streisand. This isn't even her. Anyway,
this is
welcome to the studio.
That's Bryan Adams, right? Let's paint the picture for this song because this is very movie related. This was the song, and if I'm not mistaken, remember in the 90s, I think it was 90 or 91, when everyone's like, Bryan Adams, he really lays the romantic pipes down for these, these beautiful. Robin Hood, that was his big one. Remember, everything I do it for you.
Yeah.
Remember that song? Anyway, I hate that song.
What was that from? That was Robin Hood?
Yeah, that was Robin Hood. I almost said Men in Tights.
Yeah, the
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That was the first time Kevin Costner one, right?
Yeah, the first time I ever remember seeing Morgan Freeman, and also the 18th time I remember hating Christian Slater.
Did you ever see that latest Robin Hood? It was just
with Russell Crowe.
2019. No, it was. I'll have to look while you're.
Well, so. That one is.
It was good, is what I was saying.
That one is Barbara Streisand and Bryan Adams for, I believe, The Mirror Has Two Faces. Remember that with Jeff Bridges before he turned into.
Oh wow, yeah.
Before he turned into. Hey, Jason.
That's right,
Jason.
That was
somehow I've got stuck in my Rooster Cogburn character.
That was a weird transformation.
I don't know.
He just became that guy all the time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be the complete jerk here, and I'm either gonna say Jeff Bridges has had way too much weed in a certain window. Like they were like, "Hey man, you can have this much and still be okay." And he shot the moon. And so when he got finished, he was like, "Hey everybody," right? And this is the I'm a total jerk. Or he had a stroke. There's just no way around it.
Well, and he didn't. I mean, there's an interview out there somewhere where someone asked him. Because that was kind of the story itself. So the people were shocked that they asked this question.
They asked him if he had a stroke.
Yeah, a journalist asked if. I was going to try and help you there, Bill. I wasn't quick enough.
Let's trace it though, because he was fine in Iron Man. That's 2008. At some point after that,
I completely forgot he was
Tony.
Yeah,
he was kind of his old. Jeff Bridges. You know the thing about Jeff Bridges, and there's a lot of actors like this. Jeff Bridges, he's got so much range. You know what I mean? There's a lot of actors like that, and some of them might seem kind of vanilla to a lot of people, like George Clooney, I think, or Ryan Gosling. Guys like that can be a bad guy and a good guy, and you like them all the time.
The thing is we have to have actors like that.
Sure.
So somebody's got to do those roles.
This is actually...
Because you can't have somebody that's got a little more flair and is a little more iconic and memorable in some of those roles that George Clooney is perfect for.
This is actually a really great segue because I saw a movie this week, and it's...
I call him the Mask. No. The Mapack.
I got
MEH.
See what you're saying?
Meh.
No, I saw a movie this week. It's not in theaters. It's on Amazon Prime.
I set this up because we sort of panned this a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you remember. We'd seen the trailer and we were both like, "Oh, been done. We don't need another one."
I was like, "What is this? Battlefield Los Angeles? the ninth sequel. It looked like a sci-fi movie. It really did. It looked like, and that's not to trash the Sci-Fi Channel. It
just looked like one that had been done a million times.
Well, yeah, overdone. It's like,
actually, I've got
alien invasion.
So I grabbed this clip to illustrate this. This is why I think both of us sort of panned it. Well, just listen to this.
We are fighting a war 30 years in the future.
Is this a joke?
Our enemy is not human. We need you to fight.
You got drafted. I will be back.
Why is this happening? What about the teachers' deferment and the veterans' deferment?
If I don't go, they're going to draft you in my place. But if something does happen to me, you and Mary will be taken care of.
If something happens to you, Dan, 70% of draftees do not return.
So that's just a little bit from the trailer, and I thought, well, I mean, this is the Starship Troopers with Independence Day.
It just feels like, it's an alien invasion.
Yeah, another one.
And average Joe's got to come up and help. But here's the thing. Chris Pratt, I worry about actors sometimes because, Chris Pratt.
Like at night when you're trying to sleep?
I do. I'm
hope
like,
Chris Pratt's
come
okay.
on, Chris Pratt. I hope everything's okay with you.
I better call Brittany.
Well, sometimes you see actors will peak. And then we've seen this with a lot of our action heroes. Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. I mean, you can go down the line.
Steven Seagal.
He peaked twice. He never peaked.
He peaked halfway through his first movie.
Well, I think maybe what happens is
wouldn't give up.
When people start their box office returns lessen, then people are like, that personality cushion that you had running for you there, that was in the form of straight up greenbacks, is done. You know what I mean? We're okay.
Yeah.
The margins don't justify us having to tolerate you at this point. I think that's what happens. But here's the thing. Chris Pratt is an actor who, we've talked about this before, Jason. I'm behind the times on TV. I mean, I'm just watching Parks and Rec, right? So I'm watching Parks and Rec, and I'm seeing Chris Pratt play Andy Dwyer, and I'm like, Chris Pratt. He's so funny, and he was so chubby. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Because I experienced Chris Pratt when he broke onto the scene in movies. I had seen him in other movies. I'd seen him in what was the movie with Angelina Jolie and Morgan Freeman? The one where they would curve the bullets, whatever. Chris Pratt was in there, and he played the jerk boyfriend. He was in a couple other minor comedies. He was in the 5-Year Engagement. He played like a assistant chef, and he was kind of the comedic whatever. He was the comedy go-to in that, but just a brief role. He was in Zero Dark 30, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, as one of the Navy SEALs. So my point is that I've seen him in movies, but when he came onto the scene and really broke out with Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought, okay, this dude's legit. And then he came on, then there was Jurassic World.
Because I'd watched Parks and Rec, I was legit. I was so ready to call Guardians of the Galaxy I was going to be so angry because I didn't really ever get this big Marvel secret here for me, despite the fact that I'm a huge fan of these characters my entire life. I never really actually got into the comics.
Sure.
I didn't. That just wasn't my thing.
I would bet you the bulk of Marvel fans, Marvel movie fans, are not. They might know minor things about the comics, but I would say they're not diehard comic people.
I had the action figures when I was a kid. I saw all the movies. The comics were, except for Guardians of the Galaxy, because I thought what does Thor call him? The rabbit?
Yeah.
I thought the rabbit was hilarious. And I just kind of enjoyed that. And so when they said Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, I was so ready to hate it. Just because they were taking the one that I thought had some real comedy potential, putting him in it, and he just wasn't that funny in Parks and Rec.
I thought the same thing as I saw.
And I was wrong. He was great.
Yeah, he was. So here, this is what I want to talk about with the Tomorrow War. He's had some misses in his career. He really has, and they've been lately, right? There's also been some things about him, and we don't have to go into this too deeply. But there was a time last year where a lot of the Avengers cast came to his defense because people were, and when I say people, I mean social media, and when I say social media, I mean Twitter, which again is not reality. But these guys were coming out and they were basically saying, hey, look, this guy, he didn't stand up for this, and he's probably a Trump supporter or whatever. There was a lot of
still touch people's lives.
There was a lot of criticisms that I thought were unfounded, and the cast members came up and said, "Hey, look, this is a good guy. Like, everyone has a difference of opinion. It doesn't matter what he thinks or what he does. He's a good guy. He's not out there like sexually harassing people. He's not. You know what I mean? Like." Give it a rest, right? And then that just added. Then people are like, "Oh, you guys didn't run to the defense of Brie Larson when fans were attacking her, or what? That whole thing." So here's the thing: he's great. He's great as Peter Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's great as Owen Grady in Jurassic World. Those movies. He obviously the Lego Movie was another big one. He did the voice of the Emmett in the Lego Movie.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's some other movies in here. I think probably the biggest disappointment, in my opinion, was Passengers with him and Jennifer Aniston. That was almost too. It was him playing a dramatic character, and I didn't buy it.
That could have actually been good, and he sort of. I just had a hard. But I wondered if that's because of what we had just seen him in when that movie came out. Because here he is playing.
There was a bidding war for that script. People don't know this. Yeah, that was written by I can't remember. Let me actually look it up. But it was written by John Spates, and this script. I mean, John Spates had I think written some of the Alien scripts, like Prometheus. He's actually he wrote Dune. He wrote the Dune script that's coming out this October. He came up with the story for the Mummy, the Tom Cruise Mummy, so that makes us all sad. He wrote Doctor Strange, he wrote Prometheus, and he also wrote The Darkest Hour, which is I think kind of his breakout. Anyhow, what I wanted to say here was Chris Pratt in the Tomorrow War is I think I don't want to say he's shown range, because he's not going to be up for a nomination for any of these, any acting awards for this movie. But this was actually really, really good. I can't believe I'm saying that. I will tell you, Jason, there is things in this movie that are just like you'd think. You'd be like, I knew that was going to happen.
Predictable.
But there's enough little turns that you don't really expect from the story, really.
That's cool.
And what's cool is I was worried that it was just going to be nonstop alien lame action.
I saw this as a slightly more an Independence Day with a little depth. That's kind of what I thought it looked like.
It's actually, you bring up a good point, because I know you hate Independence Day.
I really didn't. I actually liked the movie. I hated the hype.
Oh,
I never understood why that movie got so much. It was good, but it wasn't what it ended up being perceived. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, greatest movie of all time."
No, there's a twist in this that really threw me.
That's cool.
There's a sense of the movie's a little over 2 hours, but there's a sense of speed, of rush in it. Like, we really have to get this done. Like, there's an urgency. You don't get that sometimes in action movies. You feel like sometimes the segments between action beats are a little too long. You know what I mean? But you also don't want to cram it full of action. And somehow this movie makes it.
That's pretty cool.
I haven't looked to see what it's getting on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna guess it's 53%.
Yeah, it's getting panned by.
It kind of that's disappointing to me. I mean, I think sometimes it's easy for critics. Yeah, see, audiences like it. Audiences give it 80%.
Some of the we got to go to the news. Some of the
what the problem
is? Some of the visuals in the trailer I thought were cool. The soccer or the.
I was worried about that. That was my worry. I thought it was going to look bad. But this is a great movie.
The scene when the alien army comes through.
Yeah.
In the middle of is it a high school football game?
No, it's like a world soccer match.
Oh, that's right. It was soccer, and he's and the players running down the field.
Yeah.
And then this thing.
Yeah, and then the army from the future comes through. It's actually pretty cool, and they kind of flip the whole time travel thing on its head. You know, they take some of the normal conventions, but
now I'm intrigued.
I give it a B, a solid B. I mean, it has some, there's some issues, but they're not enough to make it. I wouldn't call it a must watch, but I would call it definitely fulfilling. It's worth. If you have a Prime subscription,
worth seeing.
Yeah, check it out. I'd actually pay for this if it was in theaters too.
I'd put that on my weekend watch list. All right, that's the Tomorrow War, Andy's review there. But there's more, and it involves werewolves, and we'll be talking about it on the other side of these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News is brought to you by the Duck Hunter. On Sunday, July 4th, Hiram City is holding their annual patriotic program at the City Square, located between Center Street and 100 West on Main, or Utah 101. This year's scheduled speaker is Amy Williams Alleman, with music provided by the newly formed Patriotic Children's Choir. Alleman lost her husband, U.S. Army Corporal Michael Boyd Alleman, on February 23, 2009, in Iraq, while fighting to support the Operation Iraqi Freedom. Corporal Alleman taught at Nibley Elementary from 2006 until halfway through the 2008 school year. Amy said she and Michael both felt the need and prompting for him to join the military, even though it would be hard to leave the family. Corporal Alleman was quiet, didn't say much, but when he did speak with only a few words, he could impact a lot of people. A 37-year-old man from Maine has been sentenced to 15 days in jail for running onto Yellowstone National Park's Old Faithful geyser multiple times while wearing a raccoon skin hat and waving an American flag. The Casper Star-Tribune reports the man pleaded guilty Thursday to trespassing, was fined $200, and was banned from the park for the July 2020 stunt. Authorities believe he ran onto the geyser to attract attention. Prosecutors say the man would have likely died if he fell through the thermal feature. And a Yellowstone National Park tourist has been sentenced to 60 days in jail and banned from the park for 5 years after pleading guilty to disorderly conduct and other charges. The sentence came after a disturbance that erupted when a guide in the park refused to take the tourists' party on a kayak trip because the group was too drunk to go. Prosecutors say 31-year-old Kyle Campbell from Indiana made threatening comments and kicked at park officers while resisting arrest. In the incident, Campbell also faces 5 years of unsupervised probation and was ordered to pay more than $1,550 in fines, according to a statement from acting U.S. Attorney Bob Murray. Becoming mostly clear later tonight, low around 60. And then Saturday, sunny, mid-90s for the high, upper 90s on Sunday. Weather brought to you by Adams Wealth Advisors. They put clients first under any circumstance. You'll receive peace of mind with Adams Wealth Advisors. Schedule a time with an advisor today. Give them a call, 752-1702, or visit adamswealthadvisors.com. For more details on these and other stories, visit cashvalleydaily.com.
My friend John Hansen at the Duck Hunter has constantly educated you about the need for ductwork cleaning in your home. But what about your cabin or summer home outside the valley? You need that home's ductwork cleaned too. With high pollen counts in the mountains, dust always in the wind, and road construction ever present, the old adage of out of sight, out of mind is bad. Give the Duck Hunter a call at 770-4813 to clean out those dirty ducts in your summer home.
We are the Duck Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duck Hunter.
As the summer's war against weeds and pests rages on, a new bug threat starts hopping around, destroying garden plants and flowers. Luckily, you are ready for them with Logan Extermination's Perimeter Grasshopper Control. It's like a minefield for the minute menace. Good job, men. Another bug bites the dirt. Let's regroup before the next wave hits. They do what they are trained to do. Strike terror into termites, bash the bed bugs, and cook the cockroaches. Remember the brave men and women at Logan Extermination. Call 752-8450.
Prices start at only $65.
Welcome back to the For the People Movie Show with Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com. You heard it there, the Tomorrow War, Amazon Prime original. You can watch that on Amazon Prime right now.
You want to bet money?
Andy liked it. You give it a B.
You want to bet money that somebody right now is working on a Xanadu reboot. Guaranteed.
I really am surprised, actually, considering the fact that this was as popular as it was.
A listener
and
just texted me and said,
completely forgotten.
I liked Passengers, and I texted him back and said something inappropriate.
I thought you were going to say somebody was complaining about the
Xanadu.
Olivia. But I didn't hate Passengers. The ending is what ruined it for me. That last maybe 20 minutes.
You know, for me, it was just the whole movie that ruined it for me.
The whole experience,
I didn't think it was possible.
start to finish.
I didn't think it was possible for me to unlike Jennifer Lawrence, and that really started me down that road. Then Red Sparrow finished the job.
I go into every Jennifer Lawrence movie with like kind of the way a raccoon that's trapped in your garage would go into, because it's either it's going to be good or you're going to feel like someone stabbed you in the eyes. With
she's so good, she really
usually
is.
But when she's bad, she's like she's good at being bad.
I don't know. She's one of those. She's such a good actress that I don't. There's some actors and actresses that just can't headline a big, like a Red Sparrow kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Tom Cruise, and I'm just going to use him as an example. He can do stuff like that because no one expects anything else from him.
Yeah.
If they get good acting from him, they go, "Oh wow!"
Have you ever gone back and watched Jerry Maguire?
It's still good.
It's a great movie, but watch him in that movie.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of accolades for that movie. He didn't do anything special in that movie.
No,
nor in Top Gun or Days of Thunder.
I don't think anybody gave him anything.
Or any of the Mission
They just liked
Impossible
his
movies.
smile
or-
in those movies.
I mean, honestly, he has not been original since Risky Business,
But see,
his first movie.
But this is the thing, though. Jennifer Lawrence got her start by being a good actress.
Yeah.
Right? And so you look
I guess that's the point I was trying to make, because
Yeah.
there's some people that...
You can't. It's hard to transfer over to being this kind of like Brad Pitt's a good example. Brad Pitt was kind of in that Tom Cruise ball game early in his career. People were like, he's solid, but he's a. And again, I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but it's like he's a handsome guy. He's a leading man. He's a hunk, that kind of thing.
And so therefore
shiny white
is
teeth.
only going to be getting those types of roles.
Right. Where he's showing his abs and things like that. But then you get into,
what was that?
50s, age 50 Brad Pitt, and people are like, oh, this guy can act. And they'd said that a few times too, but.
What was that?
You're thinking.
Not Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I know what you're talking about. Snatch.
Yeah.
Where he can't, he needs like subtitles.
Yeah. And he's got the fake teeth in, and,
Yeah.
and I thought that was great.
So the other movie I want to talk to you.
says I'm wrong. I said Tom Cruise's best role was Risky Business, his first ever role. And a listener says that I'm wrong, that he is great both in Magnolia and Tropic.
He is
Tropic Thunder.
That listener's correct. Those
And
are
I
great
have
roles.
to agree.
But that's later Tom Cruise. That's not early Tom Cruise.
Because in Magnolia he plays kind of a parasitic, multi-level marketing salesman kind of guy, and then in Tropic Thunder, spoiler alert, he's the bald guy.
Les Grossman. I don't think there's any actor out there. There might be a few, maybe Liam Neeson and Samuel L. Jackson, who literally they just they get a pack of scripts in the mail. It's like, hey, here's 12 scripts, and they're like, I don't even have to read it. Yes,
I'll just do it. Liam Neeson, Ice Road. I'm in.
That's right.
Did you ever see that?
Hey, we're doing. Yeah, I did. We're doing another sequel. It's Ice Road Trucker 2. Keep on trucking.
I'm not busy.
Can we? How would you feel about that? He's 70, so he's going to start slowing down. This is what I wanted to talk about. I think one of the biggest mistakes that Disney/Lucasfilm has made since acquiring Lucasfilm,
Indiana Jones
is
4?
not. That was 2008.
Oh, that was pre then.
That was
that was pre-Disney.
I think it honestly is not recasting Indiana Jones and kind of
with a younger,
doing like kind of a James Bond thing.
Whatever happened to young Indiana Jones? I thought that had legs as far as a film franchise goes.
So
I think you could have gotten away with that.
I'm going to be
Did the Mummy kill it?
I'm going to be this guy. There's nothing I would rather see less than teenage Indiana Jones.
Really? I wasn't even thinking teenage. I was thinking 20s, 30s, just
that I'm
turn
okay
it into
with.
a Mission Impossible style.
That I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But when people were like, why don't they make it, how they had River Phoenix and he was the Boy Scout. I'm like, I don't want to. I want to watch Scooby-Doo, I'll go watch Scooby-Doo. Like, I don't want to watch a bunch of teenagers solving archaeology crimes.
Zoinks.
No thanks. No, but what we do need to talk about is, I'm guessing we have another break?
Yes.
So before we go to that break, really quick, there's not a ton new in theaters. The only movie I think really that opened this weekend is Boss Baby, Family Business. So, I mean, if that's on your list, basically everything that's been playing, Cruella, Fast 9, all that type of stuff, that Quiet Place, all those are still in the theaters. In the theaters? Does that even make sense?
Yeah.
But that's really, really it at this point. That's not true. I lied. There is one movie that is opening this week, and it's The Forever Purge.
Oh, yeah.
If you wondered if they could keep making Purge movies, the answer is yes, they can.
This franchise has been so funny because it went from throwaway horror movie to decent sequel, but exactly what horror movie sequels usually are like, to suddenly accidentally becoming like this cult classic with social commentary in the third one. And they maintain that like through 4 or 5, and then they move past that and get back to throwaway horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's been really and I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything past the second one, but I've read and followed the reaction from critics and fans since then, and it's been interesting to watch that evolution, because I think it was the third and fourth one people were like, this is actually the greatest social commentary in film in a long time, in a horror movie.
Yeah, these guys were actually really disappointed when the election went the other way. They're like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, there goes our one our one trope for our film.
This is too bad. Dang it. We had life imitating art there for a while.
And now it's back to throwaway horror movie.
Yeah, we'll see how long that can keep going.
This one looks like it has a Western flair.
Saw would like to have. I think this has some immigrant kind of.
I just see a cowboy hat and a horse. I immediately call it. Yeah, all right.
But no, on the other side, I want to talk about
we got
Werewolves.
Purge distracted there.
We should need to talk about Werewolves Within. This is
I'm excited to hear what you
playing
have to
in
say.
some theaters south of us, but also you can see it on Amazon Prime for $6.99. We got to talk about this.
It looks
gem. It's a gem.
It looks horror. All right. We'll be back. We'll talk Werewolves Within, which, as Andy mentioned, you can see not here in Logan, but is playing in a few theaters not too far away from us along the Wasatch Front and in Salt Lake, and why you might want to consider that right after this.
Loveland Living Planet Aquarium takes us outside our everyday lives, into a world of discovery. It's a chance to explore our innate curiosity, discover animals from around the world, and experience the all-new outdoor plaza and eco. More to explore at Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. Reserve your visit at thelivingplanet.com.
Dr. Josh Red, chiropractic physician, explains how Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
If you have low thyroid and you're taking thyroid medication, the biggest question you should ask yourself is, what's causing my low thyroid specifically? If you don't know the answer to that question, it's important to call us. At Red River, we identified triggers that will cause the low thyroid to begin with. One of the most common causes of low thyroid is a disease called Hashimoto's disease. This is an autoimmune disease that is a lot more complicated than just a primary thyroid issue. This is why people will be on thyroid hormone but still feel little to no improvement, because nothing's being done to address the bigger, more complicated problem, which is Hashimoto's. If you have low thyroid or you have an autoimmune disease and you're on medication and still don't feel well, call Red River.
Schedule your appointment today at 855-55-RIVER. Red River Health and Wellness, with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
Attention homeowners! You may have noticed the ground shift after your foundation has been poured, causing your house to sink or settle. Protect your investment from issues before they happen. Polylift Concrete Raising and Piering will stabilize, lift, and eliminate further settling by using Magnum Piering products to save you big money down the road. Polylift Concrete Raising and Piering are the foundation lifting experts. Visit poly-lift.com to schedule your free assessment, or call or text 435-999-9309. Polylift is locally owned and operated.
Smokey, this is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
Hey.
can dance. For inspiration.
Welcome back to the For the People Movie Show with Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com. So, a grade of B for Andy for The Tomorrow War, Amazon Prime original. You can watch that on Amazon right now. Much better than I expected the grade to be after he and I had kind of both pre-panned this based on the trailer just last week. Andy,
that's
saying,
probably why, honestly, is
I'm surprised to hear that it was, that you liked as much. Because that trailer, honestly, I just thought, like you said, it been done, been down this road. Something else. Now, comedy horror movies aren't a rare thing either.
They're not all the rage.
No, they rarely make blockbuster type of money. Although I think the Happy Death Day movie should have, because there is some amazing comedies just kind of snuck into this.
But that's almost, it's interesting you bring that because those movies are almost, I would say, more comedies than horror movies.
Yeah, there's very little actual horror.
This movie, Werewolves Within, it's kind of the same tone if you've ever seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil, or if you've
Hilarious
seen What We Do in the Shadows, which is actually a mockumentary. This reminds me of the movies like in the...
And also a TV series, too, right?
Yes, these remind me of the ones in the 90s, like The Waiting for Guffman.
Oh, wow! I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Those type of it's funny humor, but this is going to sound really snooty, like I just popped on a beret. But it's that intelligent. This is not a movie that you can put on and then swipe on your phone. Like you've got to dial in because there's so many things going on. It's so tongue in cheek.
Hey, I've seen one review that I read briefly described it as like has a mystery.
It is
a whodunit, crime solving.
Yeah,
kind of.
But it's so funny from start to finish. There's so and you know what it is? It's the script and it's the delivery from the actors. I can't say enough. I mean, if I was going to give, now granted, the year's not over, but when we talk about like an ensemble cast, these are all people you've probably seen in other movies as bit parts, and they have and it's really. I want to say maybe 10 actors that are just the bulk of this movie, and a couple the two leads, Sam Richardson, who actually is in the Tomorrow War.
That's funny.
And
do you think they time these things on?
I don't know. And then Milana, and I'm going to say her last name wrong because it's, but I believe it's Vintrube, Milana Vintrube. She's. That's not a name. That's not the first lady, or the former first lady. That's actually, she's the AT&T wireless commercial lady.
See, now that's just funny to me.
It is, but she's really, really, really funny, and she's really good. She has a lot of charisma that just kind of helps carry the movie. And then Sam Richardson, I am like. I couldn't decide what he was doing from an acting standpoint. Sam Richardson. I think he got his start, if I remember correctly, on Veep. I'm not 100% sure, but he was on Veep, and I think he got. He was part of like the ensemble awards that they won. But anyway, you might recognize Sam Richardson. He was in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. He was the fiance.
Oh, yeah.
He was in. I know you remember this because I saw this movie with you. He was in Good Boys. He played the cop that is in the gas station mid movie.
The frustrated, I just want to go home. And I'm off shift cop.
Yeah, and he was also in Promising Young Woman.
Also good.
But he's so funny in this. He's the lead. He plays a forest ranger that's having some, I would say, kind of a midlife crisis / masculinity crisis. The movie opens, and this is the kind of subtle humor I'm talking about. He's in the car driving, and he's listening to a motivational tape trying to help him be more of a man, and he's yelling. And the editing and the cuts in this is so great because the yelling, him screaming in the beginning of the car just fits with the first, but he's driving a PT Cruiser, and when he was driving a PT Cruiser, I thought this movie's going to be gold. But I gave this a straight A. This is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. So if you have $7 in Amazon Prime, check it out, or you can head. I think it's down and playing in the Junction theaters in Ogden.
Yeah, it said. Now I haven't verified this. Last week I was surprised to see it said it was playing in Perry. of all places. I don't know if that's still the case. You're going to want to look that up.
You know what we're
yourself.
going to talk about next week?
I do not.
Black Widow. Are you excited?
I'm really excited for this. We can see if Phase 4 of Marvel can hold up.
I'm not excited.
You're not?
Not really.
Yeah,
and I love
really?
Scarlett Johansson, but I think this looks lame.
Uh-oh.
Look at me being controversial.
Oh, no. Well, definitely tune in next Friday at 5 to see how this plays out.